Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another R6 extraction video. Today's video we're going to be going over the top 10 tips for extraction. The things that are really going to help you excel in the game and complete all those missions successfully with your operators coming home all healthy. But before we get into the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more amazing extraction and Rainbow Six Siege content. It really helps me out, and plus you'll always have some content to watch. It's a win-win. Now let's begin. Now these tips aren't actually in any order, I just, had to put them in an order, right? And the first tip is going to be use stealth. This is probably one of the most important tips because this game is unexpectedly pretty difficult. Even on the lower difficulties, enemies can hit hard and it only takes 2 or 3 to overwhelm you and put you down in stasis. For this reason, I think stealth is one of the most important things you can learn. Always be crouching. This is going to decrease your chance at an enemy hearing you and let you approach carefully into rooms. Also, always have a silencer on at least one weapon. This lets you be stealthy, of course, which is necessary. And you're just being a good teammate for being prepared for any situation. Practice sneaking around enemies, timing takedowns with your buddies, or using smoke grenades to set up some free and stealthy kills. Using operators like Lion, Vigil, and Pulse can also help you in your squad's stealth capabilities. They all let you see enemies, nests, or slip through unseen, invisible to enemies. In addition to those operators, gadgets like the 2 different drones and the scan mine also help quite a bit. To avoid or take down your enemy, you need to know where they are and what direction they're looking in, so you can actually sneak around them. And all these things help you in some way towards those goals. Now, as for actually sneaking around and stabbing backs, it just takes some practice. After crouching and sneaking around for a couple missions, you'll get the hang of when and when you can't take down an enemy or pop an enemy head without alerting all the other ones nearby. Next is to actually communicate with your team. Ping enemies your buddies should know about. Like if I see a Tormentor or a Smasher, you best bet that I'm going to ping the hell out of that so that no one on my team alerts it. It's also useful if someone has to do a study to kill or ping a certain thing. You can just ping it and just be like, hey, there's one over here that you can kill or do whatever you need to. And of course, if a teammate is low on health or ammo, you can always ping the pickup so they can grab it and be back in tip-top shape for the next area. Going hand in hand with communication is coming up with a good team composition. You need a good team comp. This game requires coordination. You need to talk to your team so everyone is on the same page. If you and your buddy are using Vigil and Pulse with scanning mines and a drone, it's really gonna suck if your third rando decides to run in just face first and alert the whole level. And you and your buddy might have a hard time dealing with all those enemies head on because your operators, abilities, and your equipment just aren't geared to go loud. So when you're picking your operators, just type in the chat or use voice chat and just be like, how do you guys want to play this? If you want to go stealth, go stealth. If you want to go loud. Just make sure everyone's on the same page so you're equipped with the right gear for all the stuff coming your way. It's also not a bad idea to figure out what everyone needs to do for their studies. So maybe, you let your teammate do some extra takedowns, or your buddies let you ping some enemies before they kill them, so that, everyone is making progress on their studies and getting all that extra XP. The next quick tip is to destroy all nests before doing the objective. It's much safer and beneficial to actually just scour the map and clear level before starting the objective. This means you can be 100% safe while you're doing the objective, and clearing out all the nests ensures that more enemies can't spawn, meaning you and your squad are, safer and good to complete the mission and look for any consumables like ammo or health pickups without having to be afraid that, you might get ambushed and some of you might go down. The next tip is actually for one of the protocols, one of the objectives you'll be doing quite a bit, which is the decontamination objective. As you know, this is the one where you have to destroy 15 nests, then harvest the main one before you can continue. A little known fact for this one that at least I didn't know is that you can't do it stealthily. When you destroy that first nest, it alerts all the other ones, meaning they will immediately start producing more enemies until they're destroyed as well. Now for this one, there are a couple things you can do to make it a bit easier, which I feel is needed. From my experience, this objective is the most common run killer. People destroy that first nest, then just quickly become overwhelmed with enemies. Before you destroy that first green nest, destroy all the normal nests and all the enemies on the map when you first enter. This just means less enemies can be made, and there are less alerted enemies at the start of the objective. Plus, less enemies are always a good thing, right? Next, before you destroy that first contaminated green nest, make sure everyone is ready and in position. Try to use drones and Pulse's sensor to find as many nests as you can, and then space you and your team apart so that they're each covering as many nests as they can without overlapping into someone else's. Then, set up any traps or explosives you might have, anything that can take out multiple of the grouped up nests as possible. Finally, activate your explosives or start shooting at the same time so that the nests go down faster and so they don't get the chance to spawn more enemies in. It just, they kind of all just die at once and you don't give them that chance to just make it a lot harder. Then quickly harvest the main nest and get the hell out of there. If you make sure everyone is ready, plant explosives or traps, and time your attack, this objective becomes much easier and just won't end runs as much. For our 6th tip, shoot the sprawl. I can't tell you how many randoms or new players I just see slowly sauntering away from enemies that are gaining on them, or just going at a snail's pace while trying to get to the evac zone. For those that don't know, the sprawl is that black goo stuff that the nests make around themselves. The stuff that gets larger and larger the longer a nest is alerted. Or, when enemies die, they also spread sprawl on their dead body. Its main purpose is to slow your ass down. It makes you move so slow and it can really get you killed if it catches you in the wrong spot. Like when you're, running away from a bunch of enemies, which happens pretty often. All it takes to get rid of this stuff is to shoot it, melee it, or just use explosives. Pretty much anything you do other than walking in it will destroy it. While you're moving around or before you start an objective, just get rid of the stuff. Yeah, it can be a bit tedious since, you only take out like a medium-sized circle with each bullet or melee, but having it gone is way more beneficial than, the 2 minutes it might take to clear it out. Not being slowed down and having your full movement speed can be a godsend, and getting trapped in sprawl can be a death sentence on higher difficulties. So just take out the sprawl next time you find yourself moving slow or before you start an objective or just, kill enemies. Just if you see it and it's in the direction you're going, just get rid of it, take care of it. Our next tip is about those annoying blinding spores. Those little green balls of annoyance that will quickly pop and blind you and just alert any enemies within yelling distance. Now normally you need a teammate to rush to your aid to either melee or shoot the spores off your body. But there's actually a way to get those off, on your own, by yourself. The short answer is stun grenades. Stun grenades will actually destroy the spores. So if you get some attached to you, just throw a stun grenade at your feet and destroy those suckers. Just be careful and get away from any nearby enemies so that your stun grenade won't alert them, so they won't hear the stun grenade. The next tip is about health. As you know, when your operator gets heavily damaged and actually evacs, you can't play as them for a couple missions so that they can heal. But there's a way around that. By using either Finka's Nano Boost, Doc's Healing Shots, or any of the medkits scattered around levels, you will be overhealed. Now this health is temporary and will degrade over time. Also, if you look at your bar, it's blue, so you can always tell when you have temporary health. But when you're dealt damage, it will take away from the overheal health first, not your main health. It will take away from the blue, the temporary, and not that white, solid, normal health. So let's say my lion is at 100 health, just fully maxed out, feeling good, ready to go. And I overheal 50 by picking up a med kit or using a doc shot or whatever, for a total of 150 health. And I take, 45 damage before we evac, and my lion is just saved. Since I only took temporary health damage, my lion will still be at his 100 max health, because his main health didn't take any damage. I know it's sort of complicated, but trust me, after playing and seeing it in action, it'll make sense. Make sure you just always pick up a med kit or give it to someone who needs it when you see it. Just don't let them sit there and go to waste. Like if everyone's at 100 and you see it, you know what, that's yours. Overheal yourself. If someone's real low and they need it, give it to them. Just make sure it doesn't get wasted. If you see it, pick it up. So that, even if they do take damage, it won't actually affect your main health. It won't affect your operator, and you can use that favorite operator in all your missions. Plus, in some hairy situations, it will save your life. Temporary health is good. Pick med kits up. Use Doc and Finka. Just temporary health is strong and use it. The next tip is to use your equipment. I know this goes without saying, you pick and choose your equipment for a reason, right? I just noticed that a lot of randoms, and myself included, just won't use their equipment. We'll forget about it or something, but we won't use it. I remember finishing missions with 12 smoke grenades because I had picked up a bunch but didn't use any. Now for most people this goes without saying and it doesn't need to be mentioned, but next time you're in a rough spot or you're waiting in an airlock, for the timer to count down, look at your equipment and see if you've used it and how it could help your team in the next area. The final tip is to just know when to throw in the towel and quit. For full squads, this probably isn't really a problem, but for those in quick play matches, that so many of us are doing, just know when to stop, know when to quit. You don't have to do every objective or complete all 3 to have a successful run. Say you're on decontamination and your team is just running full stealth loadouts, stealth operators and gadgets. There's no shame in just skipping that objective and heading to the next. You might not be able to fight that many enemies head on, or you might think that you won't be able to clear the nests quickly, so just skip it. Or say your team has just had a really rough objective and they're all sitting in the airlock, going to the 3rd objective with basically no health, no ammo, and no hope. Just evac, just leave. That ain't your problem anymore. All that stuff, you don't gotta worry about it. I see so many groups just try to force all three and do all three when it's clear the team isn't in good shape. So leave and just 100% ensure that you're going to keep all your XP and not have to go rescue your favorite operator. And that's actually going to be it for the video. I want to hear from you all. Did any of these tips help? Do you like the game so far? And what was your favorite tip in the video? What was something that you might have not known before? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to check the description down below for a link to our Discord server where we talk all Siege all the time. And remember, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for even more amazing Rainbow Six Extraction and Rainbow Six content. I'm the Battlemoon, and I will see you in the next Siege.